By the late 2000s, the Ford Mustang was dying. For decades, the heart of America's original pony car was beaten on borrowed time, but now it was getting actively embarrassed. Sales had cratered to their lowest point since the Fox body era, and the 4.6-liter modular V8 under the hood, it was a dog. We're talking about a situation so bad, the Mustang GT was losing stoplight races to Hyundai Genesis coupes. The Mustang faithful felt it, the competition knew it, and behind closed doors, Ford was falling so far behind, they were secretly considering killing the nameplate altogether. The Mustang didn't just need an update, it needed a revolution. And that revolution came from a secret project, a last-ditch, clean sheet design codenamed Coyote. This is a story of how one engine didn't just save the Mustang, no, it made it a legend. It's the definitive story of the engineering decisions, the competitive obsession, and the community passion that crowned the 5.0 Coyote the undisputed king of the modern Mustang. To understand just how monumental the Coyote's arrival was, you have to go back to the dark ages. From 1996 to 2010, the Mustang GT was powered by the 4.6-liter modular V8. Now, let's be clear, this engine was reliable. It powered millions of Crown Vic cop cars and F-150s for hundreds of thousands of miles. But in the Mustang GT, it was an engine defined by what it wasn't. When it debuted, it coughed up a pathetic 215 horsepower. Over 14 years, it clawed its way to 315 horsepower. But by then, the game had totally changed. Dodge had brought back the Hemi, and then in 2010, Chevy dropped a bomb. The new Camaro SS packing a 6.2-liter L S3 with a staggering 426 horsepower. Ford dealers reported that potential buyers would literally laugh at the Mustang specs and walk right over to the Chevy lot next door. The forums were brutal. The magazine comparisons were painful. The icon of American performance was officially outgunned. The situation got so dire that Ford's top brass seriously considered turning the Mustang into a front-wheel drive coupe based on the Focus platform. Imagine that. That plan made it all the way to the final approval stages. It was almost over. Ford knew they didn't just need an evolution, they needed a world beater. Behind the scenes, a team of engineers who refused to let the Mustang die got the green light for something radical, Project Coyote. Their challenge was monumental. Design a V8 that could fight GM's big LS3, but with a critical constraint. It had to fit in the same space as the old 4.6-liter modular. They couldn't build a bigger engine. They had to build a smarter one. And here's something nobody talks about. The Coyote wasn't designed just to be the Camaro. Ford benchmarked BMW's high-tech V8s. They tore M3s apart, obsessed with achieving that level of refinement while keeping the American muscle character. First, the name 5.0. This wasn't just displacement, it was a symbol, a direct nod to the legendary 5.0 that defined the Fox body, instantly reconnecting the car to its performance soul. But this was no old school pushrod. The Coyote was a thoroughly modern, dual overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder monster designed to breathe. Where old V8s ran out of steam, the Coyote was just getting started, built to scream to a 7,000 RPM redline. The Coyote's ace in the hole was twin independent variable cam timing, or TIVCT. This was the magic. It gave the engine a brain, letting it independently change the timing of the intake and exhaust cams. At a stoplight, it could sip fuel, but floor it and it instantly reconfigured itself to cram the absolute maximum amount of air and fuel into the cylinders, unleashing ferocious high RPM power. It was the trifecta: insane power, better fuel economy, and lower emissions. When Ford dropped the 2011 Mustang GT, it sent a shockwave through the automotive world. The numbers told the story: 412 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque. After years of being the underdog, the Mustang was back on top. Suddenly, the GT was a legitimate threat. Despite being smaller than the Camaro's V8, the Mustang was lighter, and its high-revving Coyote was more efficient. In head-to-head tests, the 5.0 consistently traded blows with the 6.2-liter Camaro, often winning in real-world sprints. The king was back, And if anyone doubted the engine's ultimate potential, Ford silenced them a year later with the Bus 302. Its upgraded Coyote, nicknamed the Roadrunner, had ported heads and a new intake, pushing output to 444 horsepower and proving this new platform had seemingly limitless capability. If you're enjoying this deep dive into modern muscle, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments. What's the greatest V8 engine of all time? Your answer might be Coyote, but the debate is half the fun. The Coyote didn't just win on spec sheets, it won in garages and at drag strips, cementing its legacy through 4 generations of relentless improvement. Generation 1 laid the groundwork. Gen 2 arrived in 2015 with better breathing heads, pushing power to 435 horsepower. But the real game changer was the Gen 3 in 2018. Ford added a sophisticated dual fuel system, port and direct injection. Combined with a jump in compression to 12.0 to 1, output rocketed to 460 horsepower. It was a masterpiece. Today, the Gen 4 Coyote in the Dark Horse model pushes the legend to its absolute limit, making an astonishing 500 horsepower from a naturally aspirated 5.0-liter engine. That's 100 horsepower per liter. The standard GT isn't far behind, pushing 486 horsepower with its active exhaust. But the Coyote's true legendary status was built by the tuning community. It quickly became the undisputed king of engine swaps. Why? It was the perfect package. Compact, shockingly strong, and able to handle massive amounts of boost on stock internals. Soon, Coyote Swap became shorthand for building a modern, reliable, and ridiculously powerful machine, finding its way into everything from classic Mustangs to drift cars. The 5.0 Coyote wasn't just another engine, it was a statement of intent from Ford. It proved that a modern, high-tech, overhead cam V8 could have just as much soul as the big, old-school pushrod engines it was built to destroy. It seamlessly blended cutting-edge engineering with the raw, visceral thrill of a high-revving American V8. It revived an iconic badge, it silenced the critics, and it empowered a new generation of builders. The Coyote gave the Mustang more than just horsepower. It gave it its swagger back. It restored the car to its rightful place and became something more than just machinery. It became the very heart of a modern legend.